Hey guys, Table here. Today we got a look at the Russian Tier 6 Battleship Poltava. I got Galler on the screen, Cunningham and Hyde. Now, this game is going to be the current world record, at least according to the official Discord, which is where the record books are currently kept. Beat the old score by about 3,000-4,000 doing my Sunday missions, the premium supply missions in this game. So I thought I'd show you the ship. This is mainly to amend my early impressions video review on the ship. Now I had Kedrov when I was reviewing that ship, and Kedrov, if you put him in the tech tree, Soviet battleships, hand of Stalin all day long. He's as accurate as you're going to need him to be. Very effective. You can make the case that maybe in the Vlad he could use a little bit of help, but putting him in the Poltava, he could not hit anything. And because of that, you guys who watch my stuff a lot know that I tend to like battleships with reliable guns, and these guns were not reliable when I reviewed them. However, I had a hunch that if we put Galler in here, it would work better, and I switched Galler. I got him up to level 11, which is kind of a mid-level commander build. But I put him in here, 2-3 months ago, and I've played this ship maybe 5 times since then, and every time much better gun performance. So this is how I think the ship should be set up based on my play experience. Again, Kedrov, not accurate enough for me whatsoever. Very, very wonky. Now everything basically is better with Kedrov except for the gun performance and even some of the gun stats. Like, we got much better range on the Scalar build, for instance, but better reload time, better traverse, of course, with Kedrov, and then mobility, speed, rudder, both better with the Kedrov build as well. At least I have them set up. So a lot of steps back with this one, but we're going to see here, first salvo away on the Graf B. He's turning out just a little bit. We're confirming on the map right as we pull that trigger. And we get him pretty hard right off the bat there for just shy of 20k. 17,000 damage on the Graf B, which you can see is almost half of his health. And getting into this game here, you can see we spawned with this Fuso. Now the Fuso immediately was breaking left, if you saw what was happening right when the match started. I kind of was waiting to see which way he would go, and then I drifted more towards the right. This is the position I'd rather play anyways. I'd rather be nose in towards the fleet at B. You can see we're perfectly angled towards them, and then we're roughly 45-degree angled towards this Ismail and the Graf B fleet over here. So this is good angling right off the bat. But I was willing to play more on the flank. The ship is fast enough that you can get around 27 knots with this Galler build. So, serviceable. You can get on the flank if needed. But because the Fuso went over there, you can see we've created a little bit of separation. We're about 1 grid away, and maybe it would behoove me to move forward or move south, maybe another grid's worth. Create that gap between the battleships. Even though we're spawned together, we're able to put a little bit of daylight in between us, and that'll allow for more effective crossfires that you can create just by spacing yourself out. Maz pops up there. He's been bothering our Maz. We get a shot in on him, and even though we hit one shell, it looked like 1,000 damage. Doesn't seem like a lot, but one shell, when you hit a Maz, I think on my build the Maz has roughly 17,000. So if we get 1,000 HP on that, that's 7,000% there. Then we had the Fuso behind us as well, taking another shot. So if you have a Maz v Maz gunfight like that, and he has support ships that are chiming in with a couple grand here, a couple grand there, that Maz then has the upper hand in that 1v1 and should be able to defeat him. I'm a little disappointed they're not pushing in here. They do have a 2-destroyer advantage, and they got a wounded Maz who's kind of running for his life, but he's staying on the cap. This is what we talk about a lot. Usually I'm trying to tell my team not to die on the cap, but it's applicable even when it's the red. He should be running away rather than saying, okay, I'm on this cap, they gotta kill me or I'm gonna take the cap. That's poor decision making. And there's a wicked salvo into the Fuso there as we continue to see the accuracy of this build on the ship. But anyway, getting back to the enemy Maz, just get off that. Concede. We have 3 ships on this cap, 2 of them destroyers that teaming up should be able to kick the crap out of you. But you can see he's really stubborn. He's trying to capture the cap. It'll cost him. We don't mind. We'll kill him. It'll cost him. So Maz is gone. And again, just if you cannot take the cap safely, get off the cap. Very easy. But we're just, we're up to 80 grand here. as the first blood medal is awarded. So we're doing quite a bit of damage here to open this matchup here. And again, you know, very accurate even at range. So this Poltava with this Galler accuracy build feel just has a much more traditional battleship feel for me. Rather than the Russian battleships, which have a very distinct playstyle in my mind, kind of, you know, slowly creeping in, inexorable pressure that is really hard to unearth as long as you don't overextend yourself. You know, if you stay nose in and angle against the enemy team, they're going to have a hard time dislodging you. This one, I don't know what the armor scheme is like. Initially that was how I attempted to play the ship, and I just didn't ever get good results with it. Primarily because the guns just weren't reliable enough for it. But I don't think, without knowing the armor scheme that well on the ship, I don't think it's set up for quite the same tank playstyle. But playing it more like a longer range battleship, as you can see what we're doing here, we're just trying to maintain angles against this flank here, pressure the ships that are, you know, giving us opportunities for juicy strikes like broadside Fusos, broadside Ismails, broadside Graf Speeds. Doesn't matter what the ship is. I mean, if they're broadside, we don't have a hard time picking at those citadels and blasting them out of the water. So Fuso takes another shot there, and we're up to 3 kills, 112,000 damage, and the game's just getting going. Now, as a battleship, you want to be checking the map a lot, but usually when you kill a ship like that, and we may or may not get a chance at this ship here, but usually when you kill something like that and it's kind of a transition period into what you're doing in the game, that's when you kind of need to really focus on the map and evaluate. So I'm kind of in the evaluation process here. We take a shot at the guy just to see if we can get the kill, but whoever was beating him up got the kill, so no big deal there. But what we're doing here, we're evaluating where is this destroyer, and I'm kind of fearful that it's over here. Usually those destroyers, especially when they get down, when their team gets down, they're going to get really antsy to start torping battleships. We haven't spotted him for a while. Now he finally pops up down southwest. But, you know, prior to that, the 2 minutes prior to that, we're constantly evaluating the situation. Where is this guy? We turn towards B, you know, just in case there were already torps in the water, or, you know, if not, then we're at least heading towards B. We want to get on B, stop the cap. Another juicy shot there you saw a moment ago on the Ismail, 150k. This thing, dangerous. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, you can put Kedrov in the Peter. You can put Kedrov in the Nikolai. You know, up and down the line. Again, you can make the case Vlad, he gets a little wonky there. But I have no problem with Kedrov's accuracy in most of the tech tier, or tech tree Russian battleships. This one, he just never clicked with me. You put Galler in the pilot seat, though, look out. This thing's dangerous. We got 10 citadels. We haven't had a problem plopping those shells right in there. Nice tight groupings. You know, I do have a very high level Cunningham. In fact, purely maxed 16.4 Cunningham, which helps groupings like that. So if you have good dispersion, which this ship appears to, especially when you have the Galler dispersion build on it, you know, then you add in a tight precision on top of that. Precision, or what formerly was called precision, is how tightly together the shells are grouped. Dispersion's kind of the imaginary oval around the ship, the universe of possibilities on where that grouping can go. So 2 different calculations on your accuracy, but this build on this ship, I don't know what it is, but I just love firing these guns. You know, it's up there with like Warspite or ships of those natures, you know, of that nature that have the really accurate builds. Hood comes to mind. This one, I don't know, Kedrov could never, I couldn't find the mark with Kedrov, at least. Maybe some of you guys can, but as soon as I put Gal on there, I'm just going to keep driving the point home. Much better. So I wanted to put this out here primarily to amend my early impressions video, because those of you that watch that, it was probably the hardest premium that I've panned. It was definitely, you know, top 2 or 3, at least on my early videos, reviews. But, you know, my impressions of this ship have changed, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and correct this. And I did check the store. The ship still is in the store as well. But you can see here, it's not quite garbage time yet. They still do have 4 ships. We do have a massive lead, though. We've driven them off the cap. They've kind of huddled together in the southwest part of the map. Here we're going for kills. We're going for damage, of course. We're 1 kill away from that Kraken. and damage. I mean, we already have a pretty decent game, 166. So these kind of games where it's getting a little runaway, plus we have the majority of our health, we're in a good situation here. We still got to heal. I'm not playing sloppy. I'm not running in there like a madman, you know, trying to ram someone for no reason or anything. We're still trying to play pretty smart, make sure we win the game, of course. They are getting A, but that's not that massive of a concern. But while playing smart, we're going for the big money here. Helena's coming around. You can see he's turning there. We aim for that. Get those all 3 guns on. Launch that, and maybe we'll zoom in. Look at those. Look at that grouping. He gone. You know, we got Confederate coming off that. We got Dev Strike. We got Kraken. So that was big money in terms of medals there. But yeah, I mean, if you looked at that grouping when we zoomed in there, that was tight. That was dangerous. That's not something you want to see flying at you. Now these, what is this? The Poltava's guns, they're 356 compared to the 406s that you're normally seeing on a lot of the Russian battleships. And maybe that's part of the reason, you know, that the gun formula is different. This ship just straight up does not have the special Russian battleship, however you would like to call it, the formula or the special rules that apply to that, where, you know, if the ship's within 12 kilometers, 11 kilometers officially, but the closer the ship is and the more accurate, the further beyond that 11, 12 kilometer boundary, the more wildly inaccurate. That's not the case with this one. This one's kind of a sniper at any range. The guns, if they're giving you broadside, like pretty much every single ship in this game has given us broadside, they can rip. You know, even a Colorado, which is pretty heavily armored there on the sides at the waterline. We didn't get any massive citadel shots there, of course, but yeah, no problem ripping them for damage there. So anyway, like always, when I review these premiums out of the gate, they're always early impressions video. Usually, you know, the 8 to 12 games that I try and play are enough for me to figure out, at least in my mind, how the ship plays. This one, for some reason, I just stuck with Kedrov. I didn't have any points in Galler. That's the main reason I didn't try it immediately. But I put, you know, the 11 points into Galler and tried the ship out just because I suspected that something was up. You know, playing with Kedrov, it just didn't feel right, and it didn't take me too much longer to put some points in Galler. As soon as I did, tried the ship out, much improved. Every game I've played in it since then, I've enjoyed the ship quite a bit. So hopefully if you saw my early impressions video and you're doing a little bit of research on the ship, you continued deeper down the hole and found this one, because I would give it a thumbs up at this point in time. Anyway, that'll do it for that one, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.